Did you know that artists can use artworks to help people understand stories? This is called storytelling art or narrative art. In this video, we're going to focus on storytelling in Greek vases. Ancient Greek art was a really important part of the lives of the people. They were considered pieces of artwork, but they were also practical because they held really important things. The shape of the pot gave you an idea of what it should contain: wine, water, perfume, oils, or many other valuable and useful things. The vases were really popular in homes, particularly the homes of wealthy people. Vase painting was important, and the pots would normally feature paintings of people and figures. Vases were part of the way that the ancient Greeks could make money for themselves, and artists would sell and trade these vases to make a living. Most of them were made in Sparta, Crete, and Cyprus. The most popular vase painting was when the ancient Greeks would paint a red or black pot. You can tell the difference between an early pot and a late pot because the early pots featured black figures on red backgrounds. But from the 5th century BC onwards, their style changed so that the red figures on black backgrounds appeared. Back in the time of the ancient Greeks, little was known about the science about why we have night and day, rain and floods and droughts and natural events such as lightning storms and earthquakes. So people would create stories, legends and myths to make sense of what was happening around them. Take, for example, this vase here. Have you ever wondered where lightning comes from? Well, the ancient Greeks had a theory on this, and they believed that lightning came from the hand of Zeus, the king of their gods. And if he was angered, his weapon of choice would be a lightning bolt. So it was really important for the people to keep him happy, and they actually built temples where he could be worshipped to keep him happy. Here are some other vases depicting myths such as battles between the gods, gladiators, and titans, important journeys. Here we've got Eros, the god of love, and Athena, the goddess of wisdom, warfare, and creativity. Stories and myths such as the Gorgon Medusa or the terrifying Minotaur also appeared on vases. But it's important to remember that storytelling or narratives in art is not unique to Greek pots. All cultures have different ancient stories, and in most cases, there were artists illustrating these stories for people to understand them better. Did you know that one of the art's first reasons for existing was to tell stories? And though it's impossible to prove, some people think that storytelling developed not long after the development of language itself, and that art was used to help make these stories make sense. Typically, stories are told for entertainment and to pass on information for educational purposes. But right back then, it could have made the difference between life and death. Take a look at these cave paintings. We do know that all cultures have told stories, and some of the earliest evidence of stories comes from cave paintings discovered in France. The paintings date back as far as 30,000 years ago, and they depict animals, humans, and other objects. Some of them appear to represent visual stories. So what do you think these stories are? Do they tell us about the best places on the land to find water? Or where to find animals to hunt? Or food to forage for survival? Maybe they could also show human connection eons ago by showing the hands of all the people from an ancient community. The Australian Aboriginals created similar storytelling paintings. Their paintings contained symbols as a hidden code to the stories, but this one depicts people gathering around a campfire to share tales of survival. And the next one shows a map of water systems so that people could drink and survive. All over the globe, people have used pictures to share stories. China showed tales of battles, and so did medieval England with the Bayeux Tapestry in Normandy. Churches and cathedrals would have beautiful stained glass windows, and here we can see the Virgin Mary's reaction to her son, Jesus, being crucified. It's a really emotive image on the stained glass window. People who couldn't read at the time would still be able to understand the stories of the Bible through these immense stained glass stories. They were kind of like the first cinemas. So, have a think. What ways do we use pictures to tell stories today?